Let's call the meeting to order, if we would, please. First order of business would be the minutes from the August 4th meeting. This was mailed to the magistrates.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve is presented.
Thank you, Sam.
I was busy thinking.
Second by Jerry Hahn. Further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next will be your bills list and your additional bills and transfers. Questions?
Yeah. Oil change, brakes, and general maintenance, $2,500 on a police vehicle. Was that on
Which-
one or
No,
15?
no,
or
no. That's several. That's several. That's a month.
1 month, okay.
While we're talking about, while District 2 is talking,
Thank you. You almost gave me a stroke.
I was getting ready to say, what kind of oil they put in the car?
you have District 2 has some blacktopping. But you never talk about the big expenses in your district.
That one was accounted for earlier. This one catches me off guard.
You had several blacktopping bills to Mago.
Just 2 of them are mine.
Just 2 of them years, yeah.
Well, that was mine.
Working on it, Jerry.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Motion by Bernard Ice, second by Jerry Hahn. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carries.
And transfer.
Yeah, and transfer. Okay, next would be first reading of zoning request number 2443, Francis Leo Cameron, R1A to A1, 16.36 acres in the Cox's Creek area. This was approved by the Planning Commission by a vote of 10-0. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we concur with planning and zoning.
Motion been made by Jeff Lear, second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next, number 2444, Donald B. Mudd, A1 to R1A. This is 2.8 acres. This was located on Stonehouse Road. Jeff, that's in your district as well. Planning Commission approved by 9-0.
I'll make the motion that we once again concur with planning and zoning.
Motion been made. Is there a second? Second by Sam Hutchins. Further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next on the agenda is your zoning text amendments. This is a list, detailed. Many of these things we've discussed, guys, in fiscal court meetings over the years, and thank Jan for her putting all these together. Jan, there you are. Okay. Putting all these together and making these things a little more business friendly, a little more easier for the citizens to use as well.
Constituent friendly.
Constituent friendly. There you go.
I think it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve these amendments as presented.
First reading, advertised for second.
First reading.
Second.
Second by Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry.
Thank you, Jan, for your work.
You'll set that up, Matthew, for our next court, okay? For second reading and adoption. Next would be your property tax rates. Before we get into the actual rates themselves, I want to pass out. Get Jimmy off the clock. Go pass out. And Randy,
Take him long to look.
I'm going to pass all these around here in just a second. Is there any more media? No more. Gary, you're here. You know, when you take one of these and pass it around. You know, over the years, as county judge, you get a lot of citizen concern and questions asked. Where does my tax money go? What do I get from my county taxes that goes to fiscal court? And since we're talking about tax rate, I thought it might be important just to review the real estate property tax portion. The big question we get a lot of times, and I think magistrates get this on a regular basis since we've been talking about city and county relations here lately. As a, you guys didn't get one in the mail? Okay, I got plenty of them. I thought I sent you one in the mail.
I did. I
had one previously.
Please.
I had used that one previously.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got the right list?
As a city taxpayer, we get this probably more than we do from the county residents. What do I get from my city taxes? My county taxes, that I live in the city. Let me clarify that. And so what I've done, I'm going to go over this. County's total assessed real estate value of this county is $2.4 billion. In 1994, it was $611 million. So you can see we've had some good growth over the years. That generates, on your real estate portion, at 14.3 cents per hundred, that generates $3,293,280. Everybody following me so far? Okay, within the city limits of Bardstown, there's $834 million. Now, some of these are a little bit rounded. $834 million in assessed value, about a third of the county is in the city corporate limits, of which about 53.5% of that is truly residential. I mean, John public out here has their home and they're paying real estate tax. The balance of the cities, actually about 46, 47% is commercial and industrial. So the city's been blessed over the years to have that industrial growth and help keep your property taxes at a modest rate. Now, what I've also done, well, it shows what we generate out of the cities, 1.1 million. So I went down and made a list of the statutory requirements that every citizen, no matter where you live in Nelson County, whether you live in the city of Bardstown, New Haven, Bloomfield, outside of the city limits of any of those cities, we have a statutory requirement and obligation to fund certain aspects of county government. And I've listed those, all the way from the jail, the health department, the sheriff, animal control, elections, coroner's office. I go down to a whole list that have a statutory requirement. Everybody follow me on that? Then I put another side column where I talk about local requirements. The local requirements in particular are planning and zoning that we've been self-imposed on the whole county, and the building up, maintenance upkeep on our buildings, emergency dispatch, and then I put down there social services because that's still an important part of our operations here. We have an obligation to every citizen in this county from time to time to assist them. So as you can see from the statutory requirement list alone, the county does not generate enough money out of real estate tax to operate. We have the distilled spirits tax, and I purposely didn't show that on the report, and the bank franchise tax and some other taxes that subsidize the county residents on their just their basic obligation to do business. Everybody follow me on that? The average house in Nelson County, up on the board you see there's $120,000. That's the average medium assessed value. At 14.3 cents of our current rate, our current tax rate, an average household will pay $171.60 to this fiscal court to operate that statutory requirement. If the 4% rate were to be taken today, it would generate, it would cost every taxpayer an additional $6 per year. Do I follow me on that? Mm-hmm. I'm not advocating that. I just wanted to point it out before Jeff has a heart attack down there.
14.8. I really believe he was.
What's wrong there? So I think it's important for the taxpayers to see where their money's going from time to time. And I wish we could do a better job of getting that word out. I don't know how we do that, guys. But, I think it's important for us to talk to the citizens about where their tax money is going and be upfront, real. You know, our budget's our budget. You see it. There's nothing to hide. Next court meeting, or maybe even the next two, I'll get a chance. I want to go through the occupational tax and show the county's occupational portion of the tax, where our total 1.1 million we generate goes as well. That being said, I want to ask Fiscal Court to live with the 14.3 cents per hundred on real estate tax. You thought I was going up a case to But I think it's good to have those discussions, see what it would actually, does anybody ever do that, you know? Put it on the board and say, what will it cost the average mom and pop out here trying to raise their family, and what would it cost?
I think the thought of it's worse than the actual amount.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
Perception.
see taxes.
But I tell you what, I'm going to also ask the court when we look at this, or probably going to review with Joe, and I've already discussed this, probably going to review some of the areas of the county, in particular the ambulance service, where we're having to continue to subsidize those services and through fees, and make sure that we work on a graduated system that get us more whole, as the term they use, that way if we could not have subsidized ambulance service, say $250,000 a year, if we can get those through the fee process, then that would free up a little bit more money, and us not have to raise property taxes this year.
Judge, what the last time that 14.3 was changed? How many years did we have? I don't remember. It's been a long time.
2007.
Seven. It was 14.1 and went to 14.3, I think, wasn't it?
I don't remember what it was.
It was 15.3 in 1994.
Just put that, actually.
There's a whole penny down since 1994. I just want to make sure. And I use that at a landmark saying,
I wasn't sure.
I'm not campaigning.
Thank you.
Okay, on the real estate tax, I'm proposing 14.3 cents. The tangible personal property, 15.14. Motor vehicle, 16.10. None of those are changing. The public service companies, real estate, 14.0. Personal on public service companies, 15.14. Distilled spirits, 15.14. The bank deposits, 0.025. Watercraft, 16.1. And the aircraft, 1.5. Need a motion to approve those tax rates for 2015.
I'll second.
Second by Sam Hutchins. Further discussion? And all approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry.
I still don't understand why aircraft is 1.5.
That's a maximum.
That's unbelievable.
Is it by state statute?
Up to 99.9% sure.
And we're paying 16 for a car. It really doesn't make sense.
You're paying a little less than that. 16.1. That's per 100.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to make sure everybody understands.
Somebody took your job logging somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all own airplanes, didn't they?
Okay. Jail report. George is not here again. I'm
No,
sorry.
she's not here again, Dick.
You give us a report, you pass it out.
Yes, sir.
Bottom line is, you've got 125 inmates,
Yes, sir. Total.
86 county, 30 state, 3 Hardin County, and 6 weekenders.
Yes, sir.
Dorcas will be back.
Hopefully, next fiscal court meeting.
Good. So we're looking forward to seeing her back.
Yeah, tell her we miss her.
EMS report.
You should have your report in your mailbox for first month of the new fiscal year, July. 596 calls were made. That's 19.2 average per day for the first month. 133 of those calls were non-transport. Report that we received took delivery on the new ambulance Friday. It checked out as we expected, and it's at the paint shop this week having the stripes put up. Comes in white, and we have it painted tar color.
Thank you, Joe. Road department report, Jim.
Road department, we're still bush hogging, keeps raining, keeps growing, so we're in District 5 today, and we're on our third round, first district, third round. Boom Bowl, we have personnel and time, they haven't had a whole lot of time. We were in District 5, and we'll move into District 4 when things slow down. The greater crew 1, we've done some just miscellaneous work really being on Flats Road. We did a culvert project, Keegan Loop, we did a bus turnaround for that bridge that got downrated to 3 tons, coordinated with the school system on where they wanted it, and worked out pretty good. Aristote's Court, Jeff in your district had a contractor had extended a pipe and it fell apart, so we had to fix it. We're not quite done because it's been so wet. Great All Crew's been doing ditch work, miscellaneous work, things like that. Most signs you guys have identified have been put up. Waiting on some in Hardstown. It's not my phone.
No.
Everybody looking.
We say who the culprit is.
Randy's the guilty one.
Is he the-
Both raise your hand, Randy, show it.
And then you
I'm
get
just glad it wasn't church.
Anyway, signs are all up. We're waiting on some posts from Salt River in Hardstown area. And that's it, Dean.
Salt barn?
Salt barn, of course, the concrete walls are finished. We paid that last fiscal court, was approved. The engineered membrane roof covering system plans were sent to my office last week, I guess, and they're approved. I sent an email. These guys don't communicate well as far as time, but any day, you know, the roof structure, the trusses and the fabrics in production, they tell me. So any day they're going to show up and start putting it up. Once we do that, we'll start filling the barn up with our old salt, build our salt sand storage areas, and get everything cleaned up. Kroger did a lot of work while I was on vacation cleaning a lot up. It looks real good. And the intent is to have it that
Brad,
wide
put some
open.
of it out there.
Yeah. So,
Hopefully some of it will be recycled, Brad.
no, most
I'll
of it
take
we'll
care of it.
use. It just, you use it very seldom, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's a good spot to store it, okay.
So-
Okay, Brad.
So
Did
did
you get the membrane system worked out on the 10-foot?
Yeah, the plans came back in at the right spacing of the trusses. So
Okay.
it looks fine. Everything, they're
Good,
pre-engineered,
good.
they're stamped. Dean, you had mentioned the jail. We're going to put
Yeah.
that on the table as far as approving. We did open bids yesterday, which, you know, I was pushing time to get it open so we can award a contract and get this thing put in October. And bids were open. However, this thing's not on the shelf unit. They have to make it. So we're looking at a 12-week delay, meaning November, mid-November, and you don't want to mess around with mid-November weather to put a heating unit on a roof on a building. So we'll have to wait till March or April is what it goes down to.
That's the reason I wanted to, since
And
that
Dean
happened, I
wants-
want to go ahead and
He wants to
kind of
study it,
review
so
it.
we got a little time. We can delay it 2
Yeah.
weeks.
If we were going to try to get it done by October,
If he said he could get it and have it done by October, provided
I
he
would
got the
have asked
contract
you
in
to
it.
approve, but I really wanted to look at it.
November ain't a bad month either, though. November.
You're playing, you
I
know,
know,
if I pull that
If
off
it's
in
a
the,
3 weeks delay, you're in December.
You have a week and a half and a start.
you know,
Something didn't work
and
right.
things could work out to where it comes quicker. He says, you know,
Right.
12 weeks, I have to tell you, that's what he tells me, but sometimes they can get it quicker if they're slow on production, things like that, and it could fall in place. Once he gets a contract and he orders the machine and it gets here, we'll pay him stored materials. If there's time to do it in October, he'll do it in October.
What do you want to go ahead and approve it today then?
Well, I mean, if you're
You feel
comfortable-
comfortable with the bids?
You
You
know,
know, Mechanical is a good company. I mean,
Yeah, I like those guys. They're very professional. They knew what they're doing. They did a good job on the phase 1 work. Their price is not much different than what we did almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, if you look.
Well, who's the other company?
The other one's GBMCA. I don't have any experience with them. The first 4 on your list is what CMTA, our mechanical engineers, recommended we send bids to. So I sent requests for bids to all 4 of them. The 2 that bid are the 2 that bid the first time. He's just super high. But I'll tell you what, he called Friday and wanted to know about electrical contractors with plans, and when you're calling that late.
And he just opened it up Friday
just-
morning and trying to get a bid.
He
in.
threw a high number in it and thought, well, sometimes they get those things, but we wouldn't. If he was the only bid, we'd back up. And,
Now, are you going to replace the smoke detectors as well, right?
yeah, and he can do that work anytime. Those is what he acts like. That could happen.
When you talk about access panels, is
Some-
that additional?
Yeah, what that is there's little 18-inch square openings everywhere in the ducts or in the steel ceiling. It's a steel ceiling in there. And you got to get up there and turn the fins in the ducts to balance the airflow. That's part of it. And then there's some things they got to get up there and access to get the smoke detectors out. Sometimes there's not going to have a place to get to it, so they're going to cut one in the steel ceiling and weld a plate back, and that's that unit price. We guessed at 15, but that's not in the bid. That'll be extra. But I wanted a unit price to do that work if we run into it. And we may hit 1 or 2. I don't think I'm going to hit that many of them. But if they have to, they have to cut a hole out and get to it because it's a steel ceiling in that area.
Cut it out with a cutting torch or something? Well, how would you cut it out, cut torch?
I have no idea. I'm not too I don't think a cutting torch would be the best thing. You'll have to burn something up, you
On
know.
fire, yeah. I was just wondering how many we
Well,
Yeah,
set up-
go ahead and make it work, I have no problem with that.
I don't have.
Most of the places have access.
I was just,
Most of your
I just thought
smoke
since you went over here,
detectors
till,
will do it.
Right.
but you might accidentally get billed.
Yeah, it might be like the membrane on the salt barn, it might show up tomorrow.
It's saying 12 weeks lead time.
Y'all do have these things.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You got-
You said 15
Go ahead.
units, you might have to buy 15 access doors to
No,
replace?
no, that was just an estimate. We might have to cut, if you go in there and look around, there's a lot of little
Yeah,
access
yeah,
doors.
you show.
And up in there is the smoke detector, so we'll be able to do that.
That's basically the only thing that accesses to it.
Pretty much, but then there's, when you balance the airflow through the ducts, there's little fins before they go into the.
And turn 'em down or up.
They gotta turn them down enough to make sure, say I'm supposed to have 200 CFM in one room and I'm not getting it, they'll have to adjust that. If they can't physically get to those fins, they'll have to cut a panel to do it, you know.
Does that also work on the smoke evac?
They don't move, the fins don't,
They don't move.
they're fixed. I don't believe the balancing portion of this job is, it's tedious, but it won't be a big deal. It just, they're gonna have to get up there and goof around with it. Now,
Motion in order by
Yes.
Bernard Kite.
You're not accountable for a little bit.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll say.
Jeff was first. Any further discussion? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Worst case scenario, we pay for stored materials for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months.
we did it last,
We-
we did it on the last.
We did it on, yeah.
All right.
All right, landfill solid waste.
On the 28th, we're going to open up bids for our garbage truck and roll-off truck same day. So the next court meeting, I'll have you guys information to review and look at that point in time. The one garbage truck we hauled out last week, we should get it back 10, 14 days. That was the one we discussed at the last court meeting. Went to a company called Fleet Pride in Lexington. I assume $17,000 is the start rate, and it goes up from there. So depends on heads, injectors, turbo. Don't know until you get it, start opening it up and looking at it. So start rate is $17,000.
You didn't have to say that 3 times.
Yes, I do. The roll-off truck, the engine should come in tomorrow in Indiana. If it does show up, that's what it's scheduled for. We'll haul that truck down again, 10 to 14 days from there is when we'll get it back. So we're starting to come over the hump on getting some of that stuff together. And then August 27th, I actually have the gentleman scheduled, and Keith, you'd asked about it, the flow meter. We've actually got it installed. The road department came out and helped us install it for our leachate line. And if you guys, we had purchased it, it just took us a while to get it installed, but those guys got it for us. Just a matter of guy has to come down and calibrate it now. We're 100% sure that the computer software will work, so that was scheduled yesterday. So just regular business.
You thought you cut it off. Thanks, Brad. I put on the agenda, just to remind the magistrates, Jim Beam and the Centauri Distillery, about 2 or 3 years ago, we approved an inducement letter for them to do their bonds. When they were going through the transition of the sale, we never finalized all those documents. So next court meeting, I hope to have those documents for you guys to approve. It would be an ordinance and an agreement with Jim Beam.
For what, to build more warehouses?
Build more warehouses and
How many have we approved so far?
well, we've approved up to 6,
And they've done about 4?
3 or 4. But this is all still just more of the financing portion of it. I just put it on the agenda, so remind you guys that we did approve them to move forward with that. Then the sale happened, and now they're trying to finalize all those papers after the sale.
They've got.
I've been working with attorneys.
Two more came through, stormwater drainage plan that I looked at. So I don't see where.
Are they gonna build one up on that hill where they're digging all that slate?
No, that's where the Eagles.
No, I'm talking about as soon as you go in.
Oh, that's a different building. That's another
That's
project.
another project.
Oh, is it?
That's where they sweat the barrels and get the bourbon out of the
Oh,
barrels.
that's right, I heard it.
Yeah, and that's another building, but they're gonna use that material for these other 2 warehouses.
I used to hear my grandfather talk about sweating barrels.
That's the best term. They got a better term for it, but that's the best term that I could.
He called it barrel squeezes.
They said they're gonna use it, what I understand is to help proof this, and that's fine.
Just gotta strain it good, be sure the charcoal don't get in.
Add a little kick to it.
Next on the agenda, an additional sheriff vehicle. We have an insurance settlement. If you remember the incident happened on Parkway Drive, the sheriff's in need of additional vehicles.
I got 2 vehicles, didn't
But those were our new ones that we ordered for this
I?
fiscal.
No, but I'm talking about the incident.
Yeah, you got 2 of them, yeah.
They were down the road department, now they're gone, so the insurance company
Insurance
came
to
down.
settle with us, about $26,000, $27,000 or so. Working on the equipment, we've sent them all the invoices for the equipment. Thanks, Rhonda, for that information, that was very helpful. So I would ask the fiscal court to approve the sheriff, let him buy a used vehicle for the detective.
I've got a list of all the vehicles there.
We need to get something on the road pretty fast.
We need to be thinking about what we gotta do deputy John too. So,
We'll buy
we'll be sending two
Detective.
recruits to school.
you know, take it in the police package.
Well, not used, but a new.
No, you.
The detective vehicles in the past, back in about 2008, we bought 2 used.
The sheriff actually borrowed his pocket.
One of them's wrecked right now.
Is that the blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
The detective, he doesn't need the police packets.
No, right.
yeah.
You don't need the high-speed tires.
Did
So
you, who did the
we're
record?
shopping it right now. Huh?
Who did the record?
On the last one?
Mike,
No, I know
It's
that.
ever,
Mike.
it's constant, it's a constant.
Maybe I'll give him some driving lessons along with this vehicle.
I
They
suggested
drive
bicycles.
500,000 miles a year.
I suggested bicycles, but they didn't go over very well.
Moped.
So what I want at fiscal court, if you would allow the sheriff to find a used vehicle that's 20,000 or less. Under our administrative code, we're allowed to purchase items. And this would be an ideal spot for a used vehicle and buy it locally if possible. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sam Hutchins, second by Keith. Any further discussion? Jeff, you had something?
No.
All approve, say aye.
Uh,
Disapprove? Motion carried. You'll bring me some information on when you get them, Eddie. You've looked at 3 or 4 already. It's a matter of picking out the right one.
We've got something else. So when we get the numbers, we'll bring it back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, have Sharon with us today from the library. She wants to make a presentation to the court, please.
Thank you. Good morning. I just wanted to acknowledge the support of the community and most importantly here, my board members, Barbara Hetty, who is our president, Molly Mattingly is our vice president, and Aaron Bowles, who is our treasurer. And we lean pretty heavily on him at times like this. We are proposing and have, the board has accepted the 8.1 cents per hundred for real property and 8.10 for personal property. And that is the compensating rate.
That's your current 2014 rates, yeah.
Well, it's 8.1.
Except for on the real estate.
Right. On the real estate, stayed the same compensating rate. On the real property, it went down just a little bit from 8.14.
Court does not approve this. They're making their report as required by the new state laws.
Right. So
Thank you.
we'd like to thank the community for support.
Get a copy of that.
We continue to try to serve across the county with our new branches. New Haven, of course, is being paid for, and we do have a debt service on Bloomfield and Maine still, but we're hoping by the next 3 years or so to have that debt.
I'll look at that.
All right, thank you.
Sharon, how could I request a budget?
Oh, just.
Or could you post it online?
Just did it, sure.
We've started doing ours a few years ago, and that seems to help a lot of people.
Okay. The
I ain't
current-
much online, I'd like to have a black and white copy.
I'll be happy to send a copy of our budget to all the magistrates.
Thank you. I
And also,
appreciate
we usually.
I get a copy at the
You
end of
know,
the year of the financial.
I'll tell you where it actually is all the time. The Department for Local Governments, we post that, and you can go in and access all the special purpose governmental.
You really complicate this
But
life.
Anyway, it is online as
Yeah,
required.
go to something else,
But
go to
I'll
something
send a
else, I'm off.
copy to each one of you. Be happy to do that.
Well, thank you, sir.
Sure.
Court does not have to approve your budget.
Right.
I just want to make sure the magistrates knew that. It's a new process where there is, I guess, full disclosure of what's going on. Okay, under old new business, I don't have anything. You guys have anything to report on? Ask questions?
How we coming on the firehouse?
Firehouse, Brad?
Okay, 2 front doors
Thank
are
you.
installed. The roof is installed, they were waiting on, Dave Cook had to finish up some of the canopy part of the front. If you've been by there recently, we
Yes.
kind of gave it a detail where it came out to match a little bit, like the sheriff's department. So I need to get with the roof guy, he was waiting for him, Dave, to kind of get out of his way to finish up his stuff. If I had to guess, within 2 weeks we'll be done with our part of it. Now, the inside part, I'm staying away from that. And,
Good day, Brad. Sure, I was told.
okay,
Why didn't they have one of the doors back down yesterday?
don't know.
The one on the left? You know,
Yeah, they were working on it, the company that
They
started.
took it all the way
Yeah,
back
they were working on it.
Took it out?
That was gone. It was there Sunday, but it was gone yesterday.
They had it ready. They were working on it, it was closed.
Oh,
When I was out there.
I don't know if Keith can answer that question. The only concern, the little hiccup in the project is, if you're looking at the building, the left door, how the water's gonna drain away from that door. Specifically, if you look at it, if you're looking at the building, the water kind of drains left to right, and our fear is there enough fall to get that water away from that door?
Because you took that little canopy off the front of it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't made for what we're doing, and when you try to make something fit, sometimes you have these issues. So Dave still has to take the brick that was in front of those doors all the way down to the footer. He has to get that brick out.
He's taking that brick out along the, as your door shut,
Yeah,
he's taking that brick out yesterday.
he's good. Yeah, he was supposed to, that's what he told me. I talked to him
And he
today.
put some grout or something in there.
Yeah, he's supposed to go all the way down to the footer and bring it back up. He's gonna shoot some grade on it. Best thing to do is watch, see what it does first time it rains.
Is there any way we can put a drain in that? Before we fill it all the way back up?
Maybe. Best thing would be, in all honesty, if that happens, that concrete's all cracked out in front of it anyhow. Put concrete out and report it.
Get a drain away from the building.
Or the grate in that area.
We're gonna measure it and see.
I wouldn't want to do a pipe, but grading would probably work better, you know, just build the trough and then put the grate in it, you know what I mean? That may work better. But if you ever look at that concrete, it's broke up pretty good.
I didn't think so.
You watch, see, I bet them trucks that came in.
See, it's just a sidewalk, so it's,
So you're talking. Hey, we discussed that up front, you know what we said, let's just get them in there and we'll see what happens.
Probably. If we break it up, we'll fix it.
Our guys can always do that.
Yes, that's
Of course, there's one guy who does pretty good concrete work.
They
for
do
us.
okay.
Alan does pretty dang on good.
they do
When's the
good.
move out date?
End of September. The reason I paused, I told my contractors end of August. But
Okay, anything else, guys?
I have nothing.
Anybody have anything? Have you? Good. Motion to adjourn by Bernard Ice, second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Seems like I look further down this way.
I don't know.